Hello and welcome to the Adventure Archive. My name is Ryan and I'll be your dungeon master tonight as we continue our adventures in the Dark Kingdoms. With me, as always, we have Matt as Victor of the Calder, the Human Death Cleric, Jess as Dariana Bloodright, the Elf-marked Seraphage Sorceress, Jason as Cutter the Faceless, the Darkul Rogue Duelist, Eric as Sylvester, the Dhampir Warlock with his Spine Devil familiar Annie, and a familiar face, Andy, who previously played Beatum on our campaign, but Cam, who plays Corin Fleshrend, our Darkul Battlemaster, is going to be unable to continue with us over these last couple of episodes. So Andy is actually going to step in and play as Corin Fleshrend so that we are able to give Corin an adequate end to his story. So
good to be
welcome
back,
back.
even though I
Yeah.
I am now 4 feet taller.
Yeah. So the Dark Kingdoms takes place in the Midgard setting, which is published by Kobold Press. Some of you will notice some differences. Some of the races, classes, features, just ask. And please be aware, this is an EVO campaign containing evil aligned characters in a dark fantasy setting, and as such may not be suitable for some audiences. Graphic descriptions of gore, murder, mutilation, and torture are fairly common. Only get to say that once or twice more. So, how's everybody doing? I know we took a bit of a break. We've been kind of off and on over the last month. But we are moving towards the end of the campaign. The players are in Vandecool, the final city. We know when, where, and how. Hey, Amerison with the raid. How's it going?
One person party. Oh.
Hey, you know,
Oh, yeah.
Amerison is Amerison, and I will take a raid all day.
That's right.
So, you're where you're supposed to be. You know when you're supposed to be there, and we're getting there. So, gosh, it feels like I haven't done this in forever. Is that the same for everybody else?
I'm like, how do
Yeah.
we play D&D?
Yep. How do we play D? I
how
don't
does
even
this
have
work? How
the
does this
windows
work?
in the right. Yeah. Rearrange because my brain breaks if I don't. We got you, we got you, we got you, but you're not you. You're someone else. So, all right. Do we have any? I feel like I don't look dead enough. Do we have any upcoming news or anything that we want to talk about before we kick off with this?
I don't know if you want to talk about the next game that's coming up, but we can talk about
That's
that.
entirely
It's
up
a
to
little
you.
bit.
It's
Well,
entirely up to you.
it's gonna start with you guys this coming Sunday,
It is.
right? So we are
Yeah.
going to be running Death in Space, not this week, but the following week after Ryan and Hunter on the Weekly Scroll go through the book, so you guys are somewhat familiar. We're doing a 0 session. I only think it's going to be 3 players. I don't think we have a 4th yet, but it'll be Ryan, Jess, Ducky, and I'll be running it. So if we find a 4th, you will see that person there. But yeah, it should be good. It's not so as much space horror as I thought it was going to be. It's a little bit more like blue.
It's kind of like space dystopia.
Yeah,
kind of.
It's kind of like Merkborg in that, and like the universe is essentially like crumbling and expanding or contracting depending on who you ask, and you're just trying to like eke out some kind of existence as like some kind of blue collar guy. I don't know. It's or people.
Kind of sounds like real life, but in space.
Yeah, kind of. But there are some horror undertones, but it'll be interesting to dig into that, I think.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm really curious about with Death in Space specifically is what third-party adventures are going to look like. If they're going to lean into the space horror, or if they're going to lean into the kind of like you said, the blue collar kind of dystopic aspect of it a little bit more.
Just trying to make it while the universe falls apart. Yeah, exactly.
That paycheck. There was a this random movie I watched on Netflix. I think it's South Korean. That kind of reminds me of that a little bit, where like everything is super expensive and pretty much everyone's just like a harvester, or they're like a, what's it called when you like something's broken down so you go pick it for parts.
Scrapper.
Yeah.
Scrapper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone that's not in like this little bubble of actual having money and stuff like that is like scrapping all this stuff, just trying to get by and get a paycheck in space. It was interesting. But like a little girl's a bomb. I don't know. It was a thing. It's cool. It reminds me of that a little bit. So yeah. So Death in Space coming up. Jason running that, and this Sunday's episode of the Weekly Scroll, we are going to do a read through and review of Death in Space. So we'll get a little preview, not a little preview. You get a very in-depth, thorough thing because that's our thing of Death in Space. I think our 0 session will be next Thursday, and then we'll kick that off, afterwards for Death in Space from Free League, which is very, very exciting. I think it was Space Sweepers, Amerison. Ducky with the sub as well. Oh no, Ducky with a gift sub to you, sub. Evil Andy. Are you not subbed?
Yes, yes, I know. Oh, how the tables turn. Yeah, I went through a very frugal period and got rid of all of my subscriptions to basically everything, all of my Patreons, all that stuff. Yeah, so thank you for putting me in the hot seat.
Would have noticed the first time you chatted. And apparently Twitch has a new boost train feature. So if you're like in a hype train, it moves you to a certain area of like the doom scrolling of like the million people that are screaming, you know what I mean?
Oh, so it kicks you up in that list?
Yeah, it kicks you up into like the wherever boost train, like the boost trains are boosting whatever they're doing there. So that is a thing, and we are having one. So we are 94% on a boost train. So thank you, all of us, and Ducky, who have resubbed to ourselves, and gifted a sub to Andy. So, what else do we have coming up? That's about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, once DK wraps, you'll be running something else, jumping around quite a bit. When DK wraps, which potentially could be next week for those that are curious. Depends on what everyone does and if everyone survives it, and who becomes vampires and whatever. I'll be running a bunch of different stuff. I haven't picked, but whatever it is, it's only going to be like 1 to 3 sessions tops, including a 0 session for a bunch of different stuff. Could be Nova from Spencer Campbell. There's a couple of games from him I really want to do, like Corvid Court, which is kind of like a nice intro into the Spire system, because I really want to do Spire 2 from Grant Howitt. So we'll be doing a lot of interesting things coming up here soon when we get to it. And I think that's about it. And then we have to actually play Dungeons and Dragons. We get to play Dungeons and Dragons. So last time, Amerison, 1,700 biddies.
Damn, bro.
Wow. Get ourselves up a little higher on the hype train.
Oh man, look at the new anime.
Look at the boost.
Oh.
Look at the boost.
To the moon.
And those shocked Ryan face animated emotes. We need to get some more animated emotes too.
That's great.
Yeah, to the moon. God, Elon Musk is a douchebag. So, what do you want to do with 1,700 biddies? How does that math out for everybody? Because dang, you'll need them for the finale.
Oh.
And I'll just do.
So that means just blesses, right, Amerison? No banes. Ryan has enough. He's already got what? You got 4?
He probably does have a lot.
4. He's got more banes
Spread
than
him in the party.
Blesses.
No banes, he says. God damn it. So, can someone math out whatever? I think our blesses are 150. Can someone math out 1,700 times 150? Oh, Ducky with 300 biddies to take us to 2,000. So 150 by 2,000 for 5 people. I don't remember buying bits, so here, hey, thanks.
So it's that's a lot. 13. So 2.7 blesses per person.
Fuck it. Everyone
You
gets
should just
3
do
blesses.
two.
Yeah.
We should do 2 per person and then give you a bane.
No, shut
He
up.
said he specifically said.
Oh, he specifically said okay.
Matt,
okay.
whose
He
side are you
specifically
on?
said no banes.
I missed that.
So
Sorry.
you guys will get 3 banes each.
Blesses.
3 blesses each. Yeah.
Thank you, America.
So you guys get.
Yeah, buddy.
You guys get
Aw, Ducky.
Come up to 6.
What?
Ducky dropping the 1 banes. Now I'm up to 5.
Dang.
L2. Hi.
So that puts. I think because everybody. Does everybody have 3? Yeah, everybody had 3. So basically, everyone's at 6 now.
Yeah.
Just not the highest you guys have ever had. You guys have been in
No,
like
we used
the
to have over
12s and
10. Yeah,
13s.
I was gonna say we've been
Yeah.
over 10. Yeah,
Yeah.
been using them a
That's
lot
when we streamed
lately.
a lot. Yeah. So, you all are now slightly more prepared. For those that are unaware of what we're talking about, the players have blesses that they can add a D4 to pretty much anything they roll, and I have a bane that I can roll against those blesses for most things. We'll tell you if you are unable to use those for any reason. But yeah. And then if you have blues and red cards, those are from the luck deck, which if you roll on ability checks, not 20s or not 1s, you get a card that's either very helpful or not so helpful to use as you play the game. So, or that I get to use against you. And it looks like we have Matt with both a blue and a red and 1 shield.
Mm-hmm.
Jess with a shield and a blue, Jason with just a shield, and Sylvester with a shield and a blue. Lots of blue cards going on.
I got nothing.
I have got Matt, Jess, and Eric. Is that all we got for blues? Matt, Jess, Eric. That's right. Look at things being up to date. And Matt with a red. All right. Cool. So, continuing with where we're at in the campaign and in the world, to explain things a little bit, the party is in the pure city of Vandecool. The pure city of Vandecool is kind of the second largest and second most powerful city within the Ghoul Imperium, behind the capital of the Imperium itself. This is actually where the Emperor has their summer palace in the underworld. They summer here because summers exist underground. This city, though, is primarily controlled or is, as you know, completely controlled by Duke. It's not Marablight. Why am I completely blanking on the person's name who's been important for the entire scope of the campaign?
Blackfly?
Blackfly is the second most powerful person in the Imperium behind the Ghoul Emperor himself. He is actually the favorite of the Emperor, which has probably allowed him a little too much leeway, because you have found, as you, the party, being sent by the vampire lord of Morgau, King Lucan, to figure out what was kind of messing with this alliance that the vampires had with the Imperium. Something was causing a stir in it. You were sent out to go find what that was, and you found out that there were machinations by Duke Drago Blackfly. And part of that was finding the Archduke Avgost, who is the brother of the dead king of the kingdom that the Imperium and the vampires basically blitzkrieg and took over 10 years ago. He is the last royal lineage of that kingdom, and for whatever reason, his blood is important in some dark ritual. You were trying to get to this Archduke before Blackfly's troops were able to get to him, but you failed, and he was taken underground. You then went to Seawall, which is a very, it's in the Southlands, and after doing a favor, graciously, especially Sylvester, for the people that ran the necropolis there, you were able to get the Book of Anu Akma, which Dariana has, which allows you to link toes and gain the appearance of Darakul, along with some other cool things like being unaffected by ghoul stench and night vision and stuff like that. So you're fake Darakul. That allowed you to infiltrate the underground, the underworld, into the Ghoul Imperium to try to figure out where and when this ritual is taking place. And through various, shit-covered kobolds and all sorts of things, blood sport arenas, you were able to make your way here to this pure city of Vandercool. After meeting with Narrowsane, one of the previous kings of the ghouls, prior to the formation of the Empire, which most ghouls thought was dead and assassinated. He is not. You actually found him to be a pretty helpful ally after needing to kill a dragon to get him his staff back. And he sent you towards Vandercool, where he had at least heard something was happening. He also sent you to find 2 potential allies there. They used to be supporters of his. There's a Marquis and a Marquess. You went and found the Marquis, who actually used to be the general of the Harvester Legion, which is one of the most important legions in the Empire, and it is stationed here in Vandercool. You found out that the new leader has actually allied herself with Blackfly. So the Harvester Legion, as far as you're able to tell, backs his moves. Those moves being a alliance with the High Priest Meroblight, who is actually the leader of the Church of Vardazane, the god of hunger, which is not the primary religion of the Imperium. That's Anu Akma, the god of death. But Meroblight, you have discovered, wants to create a theocracy of hunger, basically a kingdom ruled by religion that worships Vardazane. You were trying to find Ghoulbane oil at one time, which would be harmful to Darakul, but as you passed an island that it has Ghoulbane oil at, you saw ships and the island itself overrun with troops from Blackfly and Meroblight. You found some other allies as you were exploring the city that gave you a little bit more insight into who Meroblight is and what they're trying to do. And part of the exploration of that city is this mechanic that we're doing. So you'll notice a bunch of colors on the screen, which separates the city into a number of different districts. You'll notice this heat bar. So to explain that real quick, let me bring up that page. Campaign stuff.
There's the heat. I'll move the map over.
Fast travel prompts, outline of the end. Didn't I send you guys like a 1-page document? Maybe it's in my docs instead of
I'm in there. It's called Final Skill Challenge.
Yeah. Final Skill Challenge. So to explain a little bit better, this is called the Whispers, Rumors, and Secrets Extended RP Challenge. Basically, there are 10 districts across the city, a number of which you've explored: the docks, the Fleshling Quarter, the Artisans District, the Residential District, the Bone Heaps, the Merchants District, the Coliseum, the Waterfront, the Holy District, and the Northern Quarter. Each time the players enter a new district, at some point while in that district, you have to make a skill check with a varying DC. The check can be anything you want. There are no restrictions on using a skill more than once. The only restriction is that a PC cannot do that check 2 times in a row. Basically wrote that rule so that Sylvester's incredibly high charisma wouldn't just convince everyone to do what he says. A failure results in a roll on the encounters table, which I think you've only had like 1, maybe 2 of those. And any encounter could potentially draw attention to you. And whenever you have attention drawn to you, whether it's from this check or any other way, the heat bar increases. And the heat bar is basically an indicator of like how well, the city's not very big. How much of a presence are you making in the city, and how much have you pissed people off so that they would notice you more and start following you, or actually start to pursue you. And you're about 2/3 of the way up the heat bar. You've made your presence known across a number of districts, but as of right now, you don't believe that the people in those districts have put 2 and 2 together, that it's the same group of people kind of fucking around in the city. But it's close. If you do succeed on this skill check, you get to roll on the Whispers and Rumors table, which gives you some good insight into some aspect of the city or its people or important people within it. That's not the only way to find information. You can actually ask people and interact, and you'll get some more information. You guys are actually able to, while doing your interaction, find an unmarked, important kind of secret spot, which gets you to the next thing. Some of the locations will have people at them that know a good deal more than others. If you find those locations, you will get to roll on this secrets table, which is better than the Whispers table or the Rumors table, because it has very specific, crucial information that not only could help you, but will help you. And last but not least, the more heat you have, and the more important some of these people and information are, the higher the DCs are to succeed in those specific skill challenges. So you guys are from a 15 to an 18 right now. I'll give you that. So all of your skill challenges will be at least an 18 for the specific thing. And I don't believe you've made one for the Fleshling Quarter yet. Questions, concerns? Was that a very scattered but adequate wrap-up of the current situation? Mm-hmm. Now, Andy, I know that you are taking over for Cam here. Do you have any kind of questions? I know you've been listening to the episodes lately about what we're doing, what's going on, or anything else.
No, I kind of have a real like high view of it. There'll be some specific questions that I have to ask. Like right now, Cutter and I went back to the ship, if I remember correctly. Okay.
Right.
All right. And
the other thing we're doing with Cam too is he's been here before, but I didn't necessarily give him a book on everything Vandecool. So if you go into a new district or heading into a new district for the first time, you can roll a history check, DC 15, to see if you remember important things about that district as you go into it.
Okay, excellent.
So that at least gives you kind of a little bit of a guide where you're like, yeah, I remember here, this is an important place, this is an important place. So that'll give you a little something. All right. My favorite beer. Man, I should get one. It's that kind of night. Yeah. So friends, players, I guess I got a little bit more to do. You entered the Fleshling Quarter. You also all have these kind of necklaces that amount to a passport. You initially, after trying to lie your way past the dockmaster, were given basically temporary passes. But after encountering the Marquis, who again was the previous general of the Harpster Legion, he gave you what amounts to forged but legitimate residential passes that allow you to pass through here unnoticed. You all decided to drop your undead appearance from the Anumakma Toe Book, and all of you that can pass as fleshlings went back to the Fleshling Quarter. Within Vandecool, since it is kind of a straight shot out to Fleshlock, which takes you directly into Midgard. There is a fleshling quarter here where living things are mostly safe. And when they head out into the city, they usually have Daragul guards with them, ghouls, Daragul, or guests. So Cam and Cutter acted as your guards. But as they try to go into the fleshling quarter, they noticed that everyone stopped what they were doing and stared at them. And when they looked around, they realized that all the other guards stop at the gate and don't come into the fleshling quarter. This is supposed to be the living's safe area. And any flesh-eating undead creature doesn't feel very welcome. That's why Cam and Cutter decided to leave and head back to the ship. And the party made their way to an inn called the Blind Traveler. It is this down here. It is built around a courtyard and is a large 2-story inn and caravanserai. I'm learning new words in this part of the world.
They love the $10 words. Kobold Press does.
Yeah. And it caters to traveling merchants, their guards, and beasts of burden, and other living visitors to the Pure City. Its painted sign depicts a blindfolded man with a staff walking through a graveyard full of grinning ghouls. As you walked into the inn, behind the counter, you saw what appeared to be an affable bald male Duergar and an equally bald, sour-faced, younger-looking Duergar, kind of winching as the Duergar was barkeeping. So, what do you want to do as you enter the Blind Traveler?
Really quick too, I believe I mentioned this at the end of the last episode, but Andy wasn't here. Is that when you do get back to the ship, Annie's on board and I can communicate with her telepathically.
Yeah.
We're not totally cut off from each other. How crowded is the bar?
It's relatively crowded. It is, if I remember correctly, you came here because it's basically evening. It's after the 5th bell, and you guys need to rest because, many of you are alive. And that is an unfortunate side effect of being alive. Yep.
Ish.
Is needing to sleep.
Yeah.
Those little slices of death, how I loathe them. All
right, so we need a room and perhaps some regular food instead of that Daragul crap we've been eating.
Yeah, Daragul crap, which I'm very curious about. So what do you do? And don't forget, again, this is an extended RP skill challenge.
Yeah.
A lot of this final
and we need to figure out a
stretches
skill.
Okay.
With somewhere within the fleshling quarter, and also don't forget this is a marked area on the map, and most of the marked areas on the map have the opportunity for, at the very least, a whispers or a rumor.
Yeah.
So looking around, did you notice anything unique or out of place or interesting? Like just glancing around as I first walk in, is there anything that would catch my eyes? Like, oh, that's.
So one of the first things that catches your eye, and I think I brought this up last time, and let me make sure I'm actually talking about the right place here, is that attached to the Blind Traveler is the Sulfur Caldarium, which is a bathhouse.
Get that ghoul stink off of you, huh?
Get that ghoul stink right off you. Otherwise, this feels like... Yeah. Otherwise, this feels like an inn, like any other inn. Obviously, it's a little bit different. Throughout the entire Fleshling Quarter, you notice the people are, at a glance, it's like a human district. But when you really like focus on people, a lot of them will occasionally just have like a nervous glance around or like a nervous little shuffle. There is a sense that you are as safe as you can be in a city of undead that eat fleshlings, versus a pure sense of safety here. You haven't seen any evidence or any reason to believe that, like, for some reason the ghouls won't just be like, fuck it, lunch, and then just eat everybody in this entire district. But everyone kind of has that at least a tiny bit in the back of their mind. And that's kind of a sense you get, especially someone who's so perceptive and worldly, that there's just this tiny undercurrent of tension throughout the entire area that you've walked through, including here at the Blind Traveler. You also find fleshlings drinking heavily, maybe to kind of make that go away.
Excellent. All right. Well, so I look at my companions. Well, should we get a room?
Da, Sylvester. This has been a very long day. Perhaps we get some beverages first?
Beverages, food, and room.
Da.
I'm sure you prefer something other than raw meat.
Would be nice. I wish. Too bad they do not have that camel here.
Who knows? So I'll make my way to the bar.
Okay. As you walk towards the bar, again, you see this kind of like bald male, not kind of, he is fucking bald. He's a bald male Durger. And he smiles and everything as he's doing stuff, but you notice in between kind of everything, or when someone's not asking for a drink, he's always just kind of doing like one of these guys. You also notice that he kind of pops up and down a lot. And you get the sense that there's probably like
cartons or something hang on. Yeah.
There's like something behind that he like runs down and like comes back up and runs down and like comes back up to do stuff. And a lot of things are in like interesting low places for mixing drinks, but it doesn't seem to slow him down at all.
Like it looks like it's on purpose, or it looks like he's like has some weird malformed body or something. Like
so a Durger,
he's really
a Durger in the easiest way to describe it is like an underworld dwarf.
Okay.
So they're dwarf that are more in basically a physical way. Durger are to dwarves what drow are to elves, and the old real drow, not the new retconned.
Okay. So they kind of look like the ones that we saw that had the little baby. They kind of look like that, but they're not.
Those were Darrow.
Darrow.
They were very similar, except Darrow are more historically more messed up. Yeah. Okay. They were experimented on a lot more by weird creatures that created these kind of smaller, more like batshit insane things. But literally just imagine a dwarf and then got a bald head and dark shades of gray for their skin.
Okay. And they don't seem to care that we're human and Dhampir and whatever.
Everything in here is human. You're in the Fleshling Quarter. Yeah. He is not undead. Yeah. And the Dhampir,
I typically hide that.
You're hidden, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Your teeth aren't like so big you can't really, hide them too much. You don't look super undead. I mean, you pass as both living and dead, and you're affected by both living and undead things. So unless someone really knows Dhampir well and really gets up in you, it would be hard to tell that you're a Dhampir. And plus, Sylvester, if he really wants to, can you alter your appearance at will, or is it a spell?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he can just they're a little shorter now,
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll walk up and kind of tap a coin on the bar.
All right. What can I do for you?
We'll need a round from you, my companions, and some food. I don't know what you're serving, but something edible and a room. What? Yeah.
I don't know. What do you want to drink? We got beer, we got wine, we got whiskey.
Glance at my companions. I'll have a wine.
We haven't had whiskey for a while, so I would definitely prefer. What kind of whiskey do you have? Yes.
It's brown.
My favorite kind sounds very much like curry. Double, please. I think you call that double. Yes.
All right. For the lady.
I'll get a bottle of red wine, please.
A bottle, all right. And then you just see him kind of like, it literally looks like that skit of people that like try to like walk down like stairs as he like goes down. Yeah. So first comes back with the bottle of wine, drops that down. Do you want, hey, thank you so much for the follow, Future Pandy. Do you want me to crack that for him, or is he getting your own? Or...
No, this is mine.
All right. And he pulls out another bottle, pours a red for you, pours a whiskey, remembers it's a double, pours more whiskey, throws it across. And it's just the three of you right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Delicious. And what is special tonight?
Right, well, tonight we got fish with roasted cave crickets, bat, mushroom stew, and grilled lizard kebabs.
I love kebabs. 2 lizard kebabs. 1 stew, please. No, I do not eat fish. Disgusting.
All right, we live by the sea. So what we got?
There's fish in this sea.
And we take it out and we'll eat it.
Interesting.
What kind
Yeah,
of
it's kind of
food?
eggy.
And
Yeah,
salty.
it's got a bit of an aftertaste.
Mm.
And you get used to it.
I don't have that kind of time. I'll go with the stew.
Yeah, same.
All right.
Yeah, I think this is the
And
first.
you
Go ahead.
and you wanted a room. 1, 2.
Dariana.
I'll get my own room. I kind of want to be in my own.
2.
So all together, let's call it 3 gold.
Okay. Victor throws one out.
Yeah, I gotta go to my sheet, but I know I've got a golden. Where am I?
I'll throw in some gold. I spent a lot of money.
You have?
Well, I bought wine and a room for myself, so it's only fair.
Gold.
Oh, there we go. Inventory. All right, I'll throw out a gold.
Yeah, basically the rooms are a gold each, and the everything, all of the everything together wraps up to about a gold. Close enough. Rounded up, probably.
Done. Done.
All right.
And actually, I'm
Slides
gonna
over.
toss a couple silver out there too. Just as a. as
All
a
right.
tip. It's just like if you notice me empty and wanting, don't hesitate to let me know.
Got it. And he slides it over. Kind of just like dumps it off the bar, and you hear it like clink down into something.
Tip try.
Yeah. And he's like, Grunhild, food. And calls out, some stuff, which amounts to what you ordered. A couple minutes later, she runs in the back, runs back out, trays her in front of you. You get that the mushroom stew, grilled lizard kebabs, whatever it wanted.
Mm.
And you can sit at the bar. You can go. You can find at least one open table. It's up to you.
Well, really quick, I'm going to ask the. Did I catch his name? Did he introduce himself?
He did not, but I'm Grunhild. Nope, that's my daughter. I'm Gubrick.
Kubrick.
Ubrick.
New to town? Anything I should know or watch out for? It seems to be a little...
Don't get fucking eaten. Because there's a bunch of dead out there.
That's a good tip.
Don't know if you noticed them.
Yeah.
Hard to miss. Yeah. Dry skin, pointy teeth.
They need some lotion.
Bit.
All right, I could find a table.
And then Victor's just kind of curious because he's kind of missing like the seeing horses in like open fields. Grubrick, does anybody ride horses down here?
Yeah, did you not see this is not just an inn, it is also a caravanserai.
This is very fancy word. I did not realize.
Yeah. We host like caravans.
Okay.
Because Fretlock is right on the other side of the Sulphur Sea, right to Midgard. So they just bring them down, get on like barges, come over here, drop off the stuff, try not to get eaten, and get the fuck out.
Very interesting. Question: is it possible that people might need help with horses? Perhaps the horses show up needing medical care or hooves or just to be taken care of before riding back. Seems very hazardous here.
I can only imagine you could ask, but you probably won't get a good reception.
Da.
Strange, tall, weird man just is like, hey, can I spend some time with your horse? Oh no.
He drinks like half of the whiskey, winks at him, and heads over to Sylvester, even though he fully realizes he's no Sylvester.
Yeah, you wink your one good eye, which basically means you close your eyes at him.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
And he thinks you are one of the weirdest people he's ever met.
But tall.
Yeah, which is not necessarily a good
not
thing
a selling
to have.
point.
Yeah.
So glancing around,
are
there any other Karib I noticed around here, or?
No. Glancing around, you notice a couple other kind of interesting faces. You see what appears to be a male kobold at a table, well dressed, so probably a merchant. There's really no reason for anyone to be here that's not either slave, food, or a merchant. And he also has at his table 3 swobolds with him.
Oh no, these guys.
Which
Jim Laundry.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
with
God.
they have
The
like
worst joke of
the
Kobold
blow ups
Press,
or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Big buff kobolds. There's 3 of them. You get the sense that they are bodyguards. You also see what appears to be a female drow, which is kind of uncommon down here since the Ghoul Imperium wiped out a lot of the drow while they were taking over the Imperium in this space. And she's female, and there seems to be 2 male drow with her who also clearly appear to be some type of bodyguards, but they are like fawning over her, like way too close, like making sure the drink is like always up, just kind of like Google-eyed the whole time. Seems a bit sus. You also see what appears to be a female Darrow in some interesting garments and regalia that you have encountered before, like little skulls on her, like a staff with her, this kind of ragged outed hair. And there are 4 armored Darrow with her. And
you can go ahead.
No, that's
Okay. The Darrow you say that we've seen before, not her, but the regalia. was that the batshit crazy one? Well, I mean, they're all kind of crazy, but the one that's
So you haven't seen this specific one before, but by her outfit,
that's what I'm saying. By her Galia, her attire.
Yeah, she seems witch queenie, you know.
Oh,
Just a bit, you know, something. Jedi Mama, thank you so much for the raid. Hello, friends. Papa Jedi, thank you so much for the resub. How's it going? I feel like I see like nobody anymore. But how are you? What's going on behind the glamour? Thank you so much for the raid. We really appreciate it. We are in a city of Daracool in the small and only fleshling district that is supposedly somewhat safe for living creatures, and the party is in an inn right now, where most good things always start, trying to figure out what their next move is. So it is an Andy. It is the first time we've had Andy in quite a while. He is back briefly. So yeah, we are 61% boosted. I guess the boost train doesn't just go away. We got some boosts here, people. So yeah.
Glad to be back and rolling some dice.
There we go. Even though we haven't rolled a single dice yet, but we will get there.
Happen.
Yeah. Yes. There is another interesting table here with some creatures at it, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I forgot to look up what they are. So I'm gonna do that real quick and tell you what they are.
Star Wars.
I make my way to our table. And sit with my wine.
Right.
Preferably back.
Yeah, you get a little Star Wars cantina situation.
You pan across.
Interesting. So you see a mysterious group of hooded figures.
Oh.
And their leader appears to be also hooded, but underneath all of that are these like what amount to like mummy wraps across every bit of their flesh, including their face entirely, their eyes and everything. And they all seem to be looking to him and as what appears to be the leader. And having this like kind of like in-depth, close conversation compared to some of the other ones.
They look kind of seawall-esque.
No, they don't. They look very almost kind of like almost wizardy.
Oh,
dark robes, you know, mysterious, the whole nine. So those are the people that you see out that give you any sense of that they're not just filler NPCs that don't have names. So don't worry about them. You know.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna sit with my wine and wait for my food and kind of just watch all the interesting groups for a minute.
Okay.
But not suspiciously.
Gotcha. You're gonna just like be glad.
I'm gonna kick back. I'm just relaxing, drinking my wine, but
there you go.
You know, looking around.
We know where that leads, Sylvester, though.
Right?
Yeah.
Turning people into wolves and convincing people to slaughter each other.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that was a good one.
Our times
are
fun.
One. Yeah. Torture and murder people.
We should get the swobolds then.
Ooh, the swobolds would be really fun.
Victor's kind of eating that grilled lizard like kebab, and he's just kind of like looking at these like jacked dudes. Like, baby.
Wait. What?
So like,
is this another Victor's asshole moment? I think it is, guys. I think this is another Victor's asshole moment. We have a sequel.
Looking at those soul kobolds like, dude.
No, he's like
these
kind of looking like
might see Victor's asshole is what it sounds like.
Oh man.
That given the chance, he would fry them up. And
that kind of. Okay, that's not.
I'm not
fry him up. He
definitely.
I
some coin for this.
I know. I thought we just learned something new. about picture.
Just to make sure,
Or
because
he
the other
invites
thing
them
that
to
just quietly went in, he wants to kebab their asses, is what he said.
Someone
We're
go
gonna
back and
rewind
clip
that.
Ryan's
We're gonna
expression.
clip that.
Clip
I-
Ryan's expression. It's
Well,
great.
and Sylvester's like, I can help you with that.
Welcome back, Andy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Little mass suggestion and your dreams will come true.
There's 3 of them.
As long as we can get over to the sulfur caldarium.
Oh,
Yeah.
Janelle's got it. Janelle's got it.
Yeah.
You want to cut over to our boat people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dariana's
Oh,
pretty much
sure.
Seems
Yeah.
like a
doing
good time
what
for that.
Sylvester's saying.
What?
We're just
Okay.
Yeah,
we're
I
just
think
boating.
I think that does sound like a good thing. We
Yeah, the
cut
lights
back
of him at the bar,
um,
Google eyes,
with,
and then we
with
Hands.
Licking his lip.
we got these hard eyes going across at these swole balls. One kind of glances up and notices and kind of like and then we cut to Cutter and Cam, our 2 Daracool.
well, Corin.
I'm sorry, Cutter and Corin are 2 Daracool back at the Skin Trader. This is the boat that you guys at the dock across from the Sulphur Sea, you murdered its vampire spawn captain and all the crew and took it. Realized that there were it was completely packed with different skins and pelts, which you've already sold. And now you have this boat. When you get there, you do find 2 crew members though. Still there, because you paid them to be there, and Annie kind of perched, just staring at him. What are you doing?
Do we know? Can we speak to Annie? Have we ever spoken to Annie? I can't remember.
So Annie cannot speak to you,
Gotcha.
but she can she can telepathically communicate with Sylvester. So anything you say, Sylvester can hear.
Okay.
and
But-
I can speak through her.
Oh, really? So
Boom,
we
there
can
you go.
hear you? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, Andy. Were you going to say something?
Yes. I was going to speak in character for Soren and say, Cutter, when's the last time you've had something to eat?
It's been a day, so I'm a little famished. Why? You have some fresh meat?
I think I might know a place where we can have a meal and maybe observe some of Blackfly's forces. Ryan, I'd like to find an eatery of sorts, perhaps one that Blackfly forces might frequent, if that's possible.
So the closest eatery is a place you guys have been before, which would have been the barges on the waterfront.
I'm specifically looking for a place that I might interact with some forces that belong to Drago Blackfly. Kind of like the something like a cop bar, essentially.
Like a cop
where-
bar.
Well, his area, right,
Alright.
is a little farther north. His little fort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say if you were looking for something like that, you would be looking more for like just find where I went too far. You're looking more for the areas in I believe the northern district. Yeah, maybe way up here. So you know that the Harvester Legion barracks are on the other side of the city, near the northern gate. This is the northern gate into the city. This is the southern gate into the city, and then this is the docks. So the Harvester Legion barracks are here, and any bars that they might frequent would be in that area. And the Northern District is a place that you guys have not gone yet. So you will need to...
Okay. Skill challenge.
You've been in the Holy District. Yeah, you've been in the Waterfront District here.
Let's go, Cutter.
All right, let's go.
Don't
Really split the
follow
party.
too close behind me.
Mm.
And I would love to maybe do this more mechanically. I'm going to tell you what Soren is attempting to do. What he's attempting
Corin.
to do is Corin. Sorry, he is attempting to test the waters to see where the loyalty of some of the soldiers lay, if that there is any dissension by chance. Simply
So
by being
this-
around them.
This whole city and area is called the Extended RP Skill Challenge.
Right.
So if you want to get there and find out some information, again, it's a new district, so you will at some point need to roll a DC 18 skill check. And if you would like that skill check to be some type of insight or deception or something like that, that's fine. But first, how do you want to cross the city? Because you can cross through districts you've already been through, but if you enter a district you have not been through, that will be another encounter and potential roll that you need to do. And if you go through districts where you've already gained heat, that will be a problem. So you have gained heat in
Where we are
the
now,
Holy...
right?
Yeah. So, well, no, you didn't gain any heat in the docks because
waterfront.
because all of you lied terribly, and then Corin told the truth, and the dockmaster respected that and said, lie better next time to the rest of you. You did on the waterfront gain some heat because I don't remember who it was.
I think it was
trying
me,
to
right?
listen in. Yeah, trying to listen in on some conversation. And instead of like a glance over the shoulder, you basically like turned around in your seat and were staring at people. And you got kicked out. And then in the Holy District, I believe it was Sylvester was drunk and was levitating through the sky and was seen by the bat forces that patrol the city overhead and gained a little bit of heat there. But Sylvester's not with you right now, and he was the one that was noticed. So, yeah. But you've also been through the merchant quarters. You have not been through the Coliseum. You did go through the residential district. So realistically, what you could do is head down to the residential district, cross through the Holy District, and head up towards the barracks area.
That sounds like the safest plan of action, wouldn't you agree, Cutter?
I believe so. You do speak wisdom, Corin.
I'll lead. And Corin sets off.
All
Tell
right.
me where I need to make any applicable rolls.
So again, you've been with the party the whole time. You know the areas that you've been through. And after you've been through those areas, a lot of the recollections of like, yes, I've been in Vanderpool a bunch. So you're able, for the most part, to skirt any issues, especially going through the residential district. You give a wide berth to number 18, which is the home of the wonderful, the beautiful, the beguiling, friend of the party, Countess Dollingen. And head closer towards the Anu Akma necropolis area, which are your current allies as best they can be, and head right up into this area. As I said, number 21 is a very large area. It is the Harvester Legion barracks, and it is a fully walled compound with forces on the kind of the top, looking at areas. If you want to continue to look around in the northern district, if you look close enough, you will find what appears to be what amounts to, as you said, a cop bar. And it is got this sign over the top with a sword on it, and in kind of faded out and once like gold inlaid, not real gold, you know what I mean, like gold, like paint, which is fading. It says Shrine of War on the sign.
Corin looks back towards Cutter with a look that says, "Don't get too close to me." You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I'm not a swole, back up.
And enters the Shrine of War. Is it a place that serves food?
Well, as you enter, you I mean, these are probably grunts. So they it's pretty raucous environment of what appear to be mostly like lower level soldiers, like just foot soldiers and stuff like that, with an occasional maybe officer, like by themselves at a table, much more reserved. But it's pretty raucous. Those that are drinking have clearly been drinking quite heavily since they are apparently off duty. And as you look around, you do not believe this is a place that serves food. If this was in the real world, it would be a place just reeking of clouds of cigarette smoke and piss and wood chips on the ground, maybe a dartboard on the wall, and that's about it. Oh,
perfect place to find one of these, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Is it that time? Oh. Is it the baby beat 'em break?
Yep. He's too pale. Let's see here.
Hi.
You say hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
There
we go.
There's the baby beat 'em.
Been quite some time
I
here.
know.
Yeah.
Can you
He's
say
almost
hello
full size beat 'em at some point now.
I know.
I think he's legit beat him size.
Yeah.
You're Ian. That's your name. Your name is Ian.
Hi, Ian.
He's like,
Hi.
Trying to
They
feel
say
the
hi,
mushroom.
hi.
he's like Richard the Mushroom.
Okay, buddy. Can you say night night to everyone?
Right on.
Go ahead and turn off that microphone, buddy.
All right. Well, hey, Mama Guac coming in with the raid of 12. Thank you so much for the raid. Hello, Mama Guac.
Okay.
And as we're getting the raid in, is 8:30? This is our time. Do we need to take a break? Do you want to put the little one to bed?
I don't have to do anything with that. My lovely wife is taking care of it. So
right.
If you don't want to stop, we can just keep going.
Well, yeah, let's do this, and then we will take our break.
Okay.
So, you head into this bar. It clearly does not serve food. It clearly serves lots of strong alcohol, and there are lots of what you know to be Harvester Legion troops here.
I force my way to the bar, even like in an area where there isn't enough room for me to like get in, almost rudely, kind of looking to show a little bit of insult. And with any like look that's given to me, I look down and bare my red eyes back at them.
They are not intimidated. They are incredibly inebriated, and they're the fucking Harvester Legion. Who the fuck are you?
I'm the captain of the what's the skin
Blue, the skin trader.
He's the
I'm
captain.
the fucking captain of the skin trader. And I order whatever the strongest drink you have.
The kind of raucous atmosphere dies down pretty quickly. And the bartender behind the bar just kind of stares at you. And all of the troops that were just kind of raising drinks and doing whatever just kind of stare at you.
What? Do you not serve drink here?
And then the bartender kind of does one of these, and you see the symbol of the Harvester Legion on his chest. And then as you look around, you hear these like thuds, and as you look around, they're all kind of doing this, and they're all pointing to wherever it is on their garb or whatever. And every single person in the bar is doing that.
I served the Emperor once. I'm a veteran as well as any of you. Can't an old soldier share a drink with other soldiers?
You hear scraping across the ground of a chair being pushed back from a table. And you see someone in more formal dress stand up, and it is one of the officers you noticed kind of in their own spot in the corner, unbothered by the troops, with a very clear, kind of berth given even by the incredibly intoxicated. You served the Emperor once, huh?
Yes.
What legion?
I'm assuming I would know a legion that I belonged to, Ryan.
Roll me any dice.
Any dice at all.
Odds are the first or third legion. Evens are any other legion.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, I didn't mean to roll 4 of them, but we could just take the odd on there, or whatever the total roll is.
Total is 8. That's
8.
even.
Okay, even. Yep.
So it's not the first or the third legion.
That was not the first or the third legion.
Some other legion. It's probably a good thing, because the first and third legion are the personal protectors of the Emperor.
Well, that was a long time ago. Anyway.
We can appreciate a veteran in this bar, can't we? Pour the man a drink. His friend too. Barkeep pours a beer. Pours another beer. Slides them across the table. The bar.
Beer?
Yeah.
Oh.
Orin downs the whole thing.
As you reach for the beer, actually, troops on either side of you pick them up off the bar. And they raise them above your head slowly. And they pour the beers on you. And the guy at the table says, "All right, you've had your beer. Appreciate your service. That's the door."
Kicking his heels loudly on the floor, Corin slowly walks out. Looking back, shaking his head, and leaving, paying particular attention to if anyone is following him out the door.
What I would like for you is a check for that.
Okay.
To see if someone is following you. It is a DC 18.
Yes. Perception.
Oh! Ooh. was cutter level.
You have a +7?
Yes.
Shit. Okay.
So, yes. Yes, you're being followed. As you slosh down the street, covered in not very good Dericool beer, you are in fact being followed at a distance. They seem to know what they're doing. They are troops, and they are following you.
Excellent. I lead them on a long walk. Basically to let them know that I know that they're following me. You know, definitely like turning around at times where like it doesn't make sense to turn around, all that stuff. But I'm heading back towards eventually I want to meander back to the docks because I did say I was a dock captain. I want them to see that that's true, essentially.
Gotcha. So as you're doing that, and at one point they kind of start to get a little bit closer, you kind of duck into an area for just a second. And as you do that, you're underneath a window and hear voices above you. Could you roll me a D12?
Sure.
Yes.
I hate that. I don't know if high's good or low's good or like.
You succeeded on the whispers and rumors check. You get a whispers or rumors.
Good. Gotcha.
And
no,
somehow,
I thought maybe how many people are following him or something. Like,
yeah. Somehow, I love that the way that these rolls are rolling for these tables, because it is 1 through 12, and number 12 cracks me up. Your whisper or rumor is one voice apparently talking to another voice and says, I heard a group of surface dwellers stole a vampire captain's ship and escaped across the Sulphur Sea. Can you believe it?
My goodness gracious. Okay.
That is, you guys only have there's only 5 rumors left. But it's funny that that's the one that you got. Which doesn't really help you because you knew it already. But you also know from that, though, that a rumor even within the town right now is of a group of surface dwellers that stole a ship and traveled across the Sulphur Sea.
Great. This is fantastic. This is...
I will, although you did succeed at your check, you still definitely 100% got some heat.
Oof. The beer didn't cool it off at all?
Oh. People are very aware of your presence at this point. You have made yourselves known across multiple districts. Not only that, that enough time has passed that the rumor of at least of maybe not specifically your group, because you guys have all been disguised as Dericool, but a group stole a ship and showed up at the docks. That rumor is now within the city itself. And you have been at least noticed as a group in the Waterfront District, in the Northern District, in the Holy District, pretty much the entire top half of the city.
Excellent. Well, this was a fantastic idea.
And as you guys make your way back to the dock, you get there. It's not swarming with troops. You have your 2 crew still with you. And we will cut back to the tavern. Oh, and as we cut back to the tavern, why don't we take a break?
Let's do it.
There we go. So we will be back in just a couple of minutes, guys. We will see you very shortly to continue this interesting session we're having right now. Hello and welcome back to the Dark Kingdoms here on the Adventure Archive. The party so far is kind of, I don't even know what you're doing.
Split.
Get in a room, yeah, splitting, kind of wrapping up what could be their final night in Midgard. They know that they know where this potentially world-changing dark ritual is going to take place. They know when it's going to take place, and for the most part, know why the ritual is going to take place. Been gathering allies across the city, getting people in places. The general consensus of that is, if you start it up, we can at least help, but we can't start it up in the current climate that we're in right now. So you guys could be the trigger or catalyst for a potential or something. And you're kind of trying to wrap up that as much as you can. So our two Darecool just tried to make their way into a Harvester Legion bar. Were treated, to a drink, and then left. And the rest of the party has made their way into the Blind Traveler, met Gubrick, the Durger barkeep. You sit down at a table. You have your food brought to you. You have your beverages brought to you, or had got them already. You saw some interesting people in the tavern. What do you want to do?
So I'll say to everybody, well, I'm going to go talk to those drow. Victor, would you be interested in talking to the kobolds?
So Victor kind of cracks his fingers out a little bit. And I don't know, he kind of feels like, we're down here. He's finally human again for the first time in quite a while. And he just can't believe what he's seeing with these kind of gym tan laundry kobold dudes. So he's thinking about could he win a little bit of money, maybe arm wrestling or something like that. But he's not there yet. He's only. And
remember, we have some kobold friends.
That's true.
Kobold allies.
You could probably spend a little money to wrestle if you want.
Well, let's see how the drow thing goes. He's gonna need a little more liquid courage, I think.
We know many kobolds actually. Back in Zobek, we helped them quite a bit. And the fisherman, and then the crazy bat one, and
Lilifor,
yeah.
Have we seen ones that
are
made
some kobold allies for sure, all over the place.
We have. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So
if we can remember their names,
that's what I was gonna say. Okay, maybe that's how he gets into the mix, right, with them, right? It's just bring some drinks over. And...
Was it King Cragclaw?
There was Kodo Cragclaw.
Cragclaw.
Yeah. That was in Midgard, though. Or, I'm sorry, in Zobek.
I'll find what the lady's name was. There was a lady that was underground, though.
The bat lady.
She was covered in bat shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then who's the fisherman guy outside of that?
That's right.
Outside of that town.
Jiro. Right?
Jiro. He dreamt of sushi.
Yeah, dreams of sushi. That's what I always remember.
He was fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't a fisherman. But
so there's Jiro. Do we remember what the bat crazy lady was? I'll find it.
I'm gonna act like you need to find out. I don't fucking remember either, though. This was 4 months ago.
Was it Orda? No. Orda was the other crazy. There was been so many crazy ladies in 2 years.
But the kobolds we've always kind of been symbolic with, so that could help. But anyways, so can I tell what the drow are drinking?
Appears to be drinking wine.
Okay.
And how much have you had to drink?
I just got the one glass.
Okay.
I was kind of
feel good
because last
time
you feel drunk, I levitated upstairs and shit.
Yeah, you feel good though on that one.
All right, so I'm gonna go back up to the bar and ask for a bottle. and then I'm gonna
Of
take
what?
of the wine that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll pay him whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
And I'm going to take that over to the table of Drow. So I'm assuming there is like a round table that would normally sit 4, but there's 3 of them, kind of.
Sure.
And I assume because they were both fawning on her, they're on either side of her.
Oh yeah, right up on her.
Okay, so I'll sit across from her, and I'll come up with the bottle. Say, evening. I set down the bottle. You all look like you could use a little bit more wine.
When you move in close, you see that she seems tired. And they seem, gosh, a little bit sweaty. Pupils real dilated. Real touchy-feely.
Okay.
And you see 2 empty bottles of wine at the table by their cups. Some wine spilled around their cups and stuff. Hers still like half full. That's what you notice. They're like don't even really notice you.
I say, gentlemen, and I fill up their glasses. And I set the bottle down. And I say,
they notice you at that point and kind of like reach out and like touch you and realize that you are in fact there.
I'm here.
And they go back to fawning over this drow. She just, I think they've had quite enough of whatever this is. What do you want?
I just saw you, and I was wondering what a place like this is doing around a woman like you.
This place wasn't here, but it is in fact here, and I must be here as well, unfortunately.
Everybody here is here, unfortunately. There's no getting around that. But you look fatigued. If you don't mind.
Tired of this. I'm tired of this place, and I am tired of men like you coming up and talking to me.
I understand that. It seems like you might be tired of these 2 men talking to you as well.
Well, they have their uses.
Fair enough. Can I get you anything? Food? Get rid of them.
No. They are ostensibly my bodyguards. But, you want?
They touched me to see if I was real. No offense or anything,
Yes.
but
Well,
my
if I were
shadow
you-
makes a better bodyguard.
if I were you, I would be careful with that wine that you'll drink.
I've had 1 glass and I feel it.
Let's wait till you've had 2.
Well, perhaps I'll wait on 2. And yourself? 1, 2?
Had my fill.
Fair enough. I kind of just don't go anywhere, and I just kind of sit back, and I've got my glass, but I just tiny sip.
Is it business you wish to discuss? So you're aware of my profession? What do you want?
What is your profession?
I sell people.
Interesting. I wasn't aware of your profession, but now I'm intrigued.
Would you like to buy a person?
What kind of people? And I'd have to take a look at the wares before I could make such a decision.
Yes, I have a wide variety. Tall, short, skinny, fat. Is it food you want? Is it labor you want? I have what you need.
Pleasure.
Oh, you weren't saying. I gotcha. Yes, of course. That seems to often be the answer, you sick fucks. But
not for me.
I'm sorry?
But not for me.
Is it for your tall friend there eyeing the kobolds? Is it for the young lady? I don't think she will have much trouble, but
No,
what do you need?
She wouldn't. And I don't think he'll have trouble either.
We all have our tastes.
His peculiar, but they seem to work out in the end.
I will say I don't deal in kobolds. They're better allies than slaves.
I concur 100%. Fair enough. Never mind. I guess I'm not in the market today.
Well, if you happen to be in the meat market tomorrow, you can find me again.
All right. I'll leave the bottle. But I don't leave. I kind of just scoot my chair back and turn it away. And just like, I'm done, but I'm too lazy to get up.
Are we close enough to hear this, Eric?
I don't know. I kind of doubt it. It's kind of loud in there.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think I was speaking very loudly. So
It's probably across the table.
Yeah.
So
I
she's
will.
gonna tell Dariana to lay off the wine.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give
She's
a
like topless on the bar at this point.
I'll throw a
Well, before you even do that, how many glasses of wine do you have had in this period
you
of
bought
time?
yourself a bottle.
Yeah, I
I
got
know.
myself a bottle and I'm kind of emo right now. So probably, I think she's probably drank like a glass and a half at least.
We haven't been there that long. I mean, we sat
Yeah,
down.
okay.
And I got
a
up and
little over a
left.
glass.
But so I don't know how.
So how many
you were. I
glasses?
don't know
Would
if
you
you
have
tried
downed
all
one?
Do you smack it out of her hand?
Boom.
Would you have
No.
downed one and had another one? What would she actually be doing, emo Dariana, with her bottle of wine? Regardless of potential consequences, what would she have done?
I'd say like 1.5. I think it might be more for like emo show. Like she just wants to look depressed, but she is.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. What I would like from you is a D100, please.
Oh God. Okay. $84.
Okay. Roll me a D10, please. Okay. You, as you have the half of the second glass drink, start to feel this effect. As you down the second glass, the rest of that glass, you are stunned. Just stunned. As soon as the glass hits the table, you are unable to speak. You are unable to move. You just fall limp in your chair for 4 minutes.
Does Victor notice this, or is he too smitten with the kobolds?
That's 100% up to you.
All right.
Clearly he's smitten.
Yeah. So she's
Seems like
she's
the direction we're going.
Did she go like face first?
No, just literally just like limp back in the chair, just stunned.
Oh, okay. All right. So he's kind of got like that double whiskey in one hand, and he's got like the half-eaten kebab in the other, and kind of a little grease on his shin beard, and he kind of elbows
Sexy.
like Dariana. Like kind of does a stupid laugh, like, haha, Dariana, look at these, adorable, so strong, so, and he kind of looks at her, and I'm assuming like her body kind of goes to the right, like she's paralyzed, right? Kind of ish.
She's stunned, not paralyzed. She's just unable to speak
Okay.
or move. She's as if like,
Okay.
So
And
like
then-
if you bump her, she just kind of,
All right. So he's got this silly necklace thing that they gotten from the clerics, and I guess like he sets the whiskey down, kind of wipes his hand off on that red sash he's got to get the lizard grease off, and kind of shakes her, Dariana, and is shaking her by her shoulders. No, nothing.
she is stunned. She
Okay.
seems stunned.
So I think this sounds. I mean, it's kind of simple, but he's done this before. Like he can cast, I think, restoration on her, like a lesser restoration to unstun her. And so, so he kind of whispers a couple of words in Kariv below the bar, and then kind of gives her like a jolt, and then with his shoulders, and casts lesser restoration on her.
Doesn't do anything.
Oh, all right. Now he's like, holy shit, and because he's not sure like what's going on. Can I do some sort of like a check, like a medicine check or something like that, to see what the hell's going on?
You don't really need to do a medicine check. You can look at her and see that she just seems stunned by something, as in just like shocked into the inability to speak or whatever. But as you continue to do this, the 4 minutes passes, and Dariana, you kind of just like snap back to yourself. No recollection of that whatsoever. You just have this empty glass and your companion just all up in your grill.
I'm and like literally like this tall dude is like holding your shoulders and kind of like, Dariana, where are you?
I'm
Meets in
on
the
mute.
chat.
Yes. What do you want, Victor?
Where did you go? You were gone. Like could not see eyes. Like very, not moving, stunned.
I don't understand. I've been right here.
And he looks. So when he sniffs that wine, does it smell like weird or look weird? Or is it just like normal red wine?
Kind of smells like mushrooms.
Yeah, shrooms. Do they have roofies in Midgard? So he just kind of looks over at like, and there's like a half bottle of wine.
I mean, when you look really close at the label, I mean, there's mushrooms on the label. It's mushroom wine, like just made from mushrooms.
Okay, so I do not think we should drink this, friend. This will not end well for you. And then, because as I look around the bar, are a bunch of people drinking the mushroom wine, or just us and the
Some
drow?
are. You see drow drinking wine. There's a couple other people that have what appear to be wine glasses.
And
It doesn't.
Do they look like the drow, or do they look stunned?
A couple of them, are sipping on it. Some other ones, aren't, do anything too crazy right now. You don't see too many people with entire bottles on their table.
We are too close to finish this. And he just takes the bottle, I guess, and Is there any tables near us where people are drinking it? Like I guess there's
Sure.
the dare. Okay, so he'll just. I guess are the kobolds drinking that shit?
No.
No. Okay. Well, smart. Okay.
Maybe they should.
I don't know. So. Fuck. And are the hooded figures drinking at all?
No.
No, because they're all wrapped and shit. Oh my god.
The one is.
And the Darrow are crazy as fuck. So he's gonna just kind of stand up. Sylvester, Dariana, let's go talk to Sylvester. He looks like perhaps his charms are not working as much as usual. And he kind of just, as walking past the Darrow table, he goes, for you, friends. And if you will come with me, Dariana, let's go see what Sylvester's doing.
Okay.
And then he kind of, I mean, do you need like an arm or anything like that, or are you totally, the stun is gone?
Seems to
I'm probably,
pass.
like a little.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do I feel?
I mean, a bottle of wine has about 4 nice glasses in it. You've had half a bottle of wine. You tell me how Diana feels.
I guess she's feeling pretty good. Maybe I could use a none.
And so he kind of looks at Sylvester. Sylvester, do you look like you're welcoming us over, or?
Sure.
Okay. So
like
he
I'm
kinda
not
sits-
looking over.
Okay. So he kind of sits her down next to her and is like, Sylvester, I do not know what's going on, but Dariana disappeared for a bit. She completely stunned, could not see through eyes, does not remember.
She blacked out. How much wine has she had?
Not very much, friend. Perhaps two glasses.
Strong wine. Food?
Are-
I hear strong wine.
Interesting. I tell you what, can I leave her with you? I feel the need to go talk to these kobolds. And so
Sure.
so Victor heads up to the bar. What are the kobolds drinking?
Yeah, something in glasses.
Okay, whatever. So he goes to our friendly bald man, Lubric, whatever his name is, Gubrick, and may I get the round of whatever my kobold friends are having? 4 glasses of what they're having, please. Make it 5.
All right. He pours, these 4 wooden cups full of some like light brownish liquid and hands it to you.
Thank you very much. How much?
A couple silver.
Okay, so he throws down like 5 silver. Take that off.
Think. Yeah.
Yeah, he throws down 5 silver, brings them over to the kobolds, sets them down. Hello, friends. My name is Victor. Do you know Jiro? Kind of like, all kobolds should know each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, because that's how things work, right? Everything that
Yeah.
looks like everything else knows all of them.
Uh-huh.
He kind of
Yeah.
sets the drinks down. Uh-oh.
I know a Jiro.
Interesting. When we come down here, we make good friends. Found mutually beneficial when we first visit this, what you call this, underground. Question: have you ever drinking the wine with mushroom bubble?
No, we're not fucking stupid.
What do you mean? Both of my friends each bought a bottle.
Yeah, well, they were gonna have a very interesting evening.
Okay. Why do people drink then? Why did they drink mushroom wine?
Why do people drink anything? Why do people take anything to escape reality?
What is this we're drinking though? And he kind of reaches out to like toast him.
It is what amounts to a sour beer.
Okay. And so I assume this is not mushroom beer?
No, this is delicious, is what this is. Except sour beers are disgusting.
Okay. So he just toasts them and it's very, very nice to make your acquaintance. Cheers to you. And cheers to my brother Jiro. And he kind of toasts. He thinks he's being slick, but he's not. But he actually enjoys the sour beer, oddly. It's his poor taste.
As you would have to be.
Well, and more than likely, that's probably what you drink in the Carib, right? I mean, wild yeast and.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Mm.
There you go. That's not bad. That's a sour beer. I mean, if you like sour beers, it's not bad.
Do you mind if my friends join us? I'm very curious to hear your workout routines.
Well, so he is a kobold surrounded by swobalds.
Yeah. But I bought beer for all of them.
Fuck.
Right. And we appreciate that, but we have business to attend to. Is there a question that you have for me, or is there something that you would like to go do somewhere else?
What is your business, friend?
My business is my business, but I'm a merchant from Lillifore.
Oh, I love Lillifore. Beautiful place.
What do you know of Lillifore?
That's where Jiro's.
I'm pretty sure that's where we met Jiro. You know, he's not fish. Your height, roughly, very nice.
Oh, yes, he does like sushi.
Delicious. I mean, I personally will not eat fish at all, but he said it's very delicious.
Oh, we know, Victor. We know. That's been established.
Cutter, he can hear Cutter's voice. Like Cutter's words. So this is just not. Well, okay, friends.
Right.
This is something you wish to purchase. I still have my caravan. There's a bit left.
Ooh.
Do you need rope? Do you need twine? Do you need... What is it you want? I have guano, plenty of it for sale. Plenty of it for sale.
We know a friend of ours. Woman loved bat guano. She was covered in it, head to toe.
Well, much of Lillifore is covered in bat guano.
Let me ask. And Sylvester, like, how far away are you?
I don't know.
Across the bar.
Okay, so he kind of shouts it out to, like, because he probably assumes it's not really his name anyways. Come over here, friend. Do we need anything?
Oh, everything and nothing.
Dariana.
There's something about this wine.
Oh no, you've had a second glass now too?
I'm still sipping, but slowly. But I haven't stopped, but I'm
okay. So he goes, "Thank you for advice, friend," and finishes the cup. Kind of just puts upside down. I wish you luck going back to Lillifore. Please do not be eaten. And then turns around and he kind of, like, when he sees Sylvester with the wine, he kind of just tries to grab it. I'm not as quick as you, I don't think, but I'm a little stronger. Like, I'll just try to grab it from you.
I let you.
Okay.
I'm like, what? Do you want some? You can have some.
No, and so I take it and I take it to the bartender and I ask him for 3 of those sour beer things.
Oh.
And hand him the wine. I do not understand what this mushroom wine is, but it's not treating my friends very well. Although those 2 drow appear to enjoy. And then he's going to throw in a few more silvers down. And then you guys have not eaten, right?
You guys were all brought food. Yeah.
We were brought food? Okay. And so he's just going to bring it back. And I'm going to say, before we go to bed, I do not think we should drink that wine. I do not know where Dariana went, but it could not be a good place.
Okay.
Fair enough. I've got a question for you, though, Victor.
Da,
Something I've been meaning to ask for quite a while.
friend, go.
Well, 2 things. One, I want to get this off my chest. And I assume you know by now, we've been through a lot together, and I've come to consider you a friend.
Yes.
So 2 things. One, when we first met, you heard a voice in your head telling you to protect me. That you interpreted as your god, Chernobog.
This is correct.
Oh. Well, I thought you knew already. This is getting more awkward as we go. Well, that was not your god, that was me. And my apologies. I was new to the group and I meant to no harm. I wanted to fit in with everybody. And well, you were meditating and I saw an opportunity to maybe get an in. And so I disguised my voice, planted it in your head, and told you to protect me.
Very interesting, because that was confusing time for me.
Yeah.
And I'm more confused now because the main person I protect, we have not seen for a long time.
Was Beatum, yes.
So this would explain why Chernobog has not told me much about you lately.
Yeah, no, it was only the one time. Well, afterwards, everybody seemed okay with me, so I didn't see the need to push it, but I felt I should come clean on that.
In Ruthenian Plain, we meet people, many people like you, Sylvester, Hamish, whatever your name is. We call them, tricksters, jokesters. Sometimes rip their arms out when they lie too much. But I respect strength, and I will say this. I have seen you kill things with your mind, break hearts like that. I do not think I would be here right now without you. So,
thank you. And I normally don't tell of my lies, and when I think about it, I think perhaps that's the only time I've lied to you.
I've been with you for a while now.
Because you lose track. You lose track. But I think that's the only one I've really ever told you, and I feel bad. As bad as,
I know that
I can feel. Perhaps it's the wine. And I reached the bottle that he moved away, and I take a sip of it.
So Victor kind of reaches into he's got like that sash thing, and he kind of reaches in and he pulls out like a little bit of black dog fur, like the pelt, and then he pulls out. Is it people have weapons? I'm assuming in the barn. Like it's not gonna be crazy if I pull a dagger out. It's not gonna get crazy. So he doesn't pull out the jeweled dagger that Dariana always uses. He kind of reaches down and he's got these like big boots, right? Those like cavalry boots or whatever. He kind of pulls like a boot knife out and he cuts the dog pelt in half. He gives half of it to Sylvester and he's like, Sylvester, one thing I've learned from tricksters in Ruthenian Plain is that you can trust not to trust them. But I tell you this, I would never put the black dog curse on you. I give you this as my word that if you need me to do something, even if I do not believe, give it back to me. And I will finish that deal. I feel that tomorrow could be very interesting for all of us. And then he takes the other piece of it and looks at Dariana. And he says, I need you not to stun yourself again. I give you this piece. I hope tonight you will allow Brian to look over you. But I have also learned that you are strong. And just gives her part of the black dog pelt. It's like, if you need me to take care of somebody, you give them black dog pelt. I will know to take care of them, to give them Chernobog's blessing. Yes? And then so you guys can kind of, it's almost like you can put a hit on somebody by giving them the black dog pelt, like each of you guys.
I will take it.
Me too.
And then he.
And I say thank you.
Da.
And before we fade to black and go to the boat, lean forward and to Victor and I say, and it is perhaps our last night alive, so I'm bored. If you need a swole troll or a Kariv woman or whatever, I can be whatever you need. And then we're gonna fade away.
He's like a swole gypsy.
Swole troll.
I can be whatever you need.
Small.
Wait.
I'm going to need more beer, my friend.
Was it I can get whatever you need, or I can be
No,
whatever?
I think he's gonna be.
He's gonna be.
He's like, because he's shape shifting like into.
Oh man.
Got it.
Yeah.
Way to end a 2-year campaign, eh, guys?
Hey, listen, we're there. We're there.
Oh my gosh.
So
I
as you
love
guys
it.
return to the boat, what are you doing?
So I guess there we see them approach or whatever, right? So we're just kind of hanging out. I guess we wrung out our.
No,
No,
they're still
we're
at the
sleeping.
tavern.
Oh,
This
We're
is
sleeping
what
in
we're
the
doing.
Yeah.
Well, it's evening, right? It's
Yeah,
end
it's
of
fine
the
if you
day.
guys just want to crash.
Yeah.
That
I'm
works
just gonna.
too.
I'm just gonna.
Before we crash, Corin makes sure that the dinghy is prepped out the back, just in case we need to like make an escape off the boat in the middle of the night after getting ourselves a little bit of heat.
Yeah, you got no dinghy.
We have no other boat. We have no
you have
smaller
a
boat.
You have a stolen boat filled to the brim with skins.
And that boat doesn't have like a smaller. Most boats have a smaller. Okay.
It's not Russian dolls here. It's not a giant ship.
Okay. I'm gonna have to solve this as the new captain of the skin trader. So
Yeah.
I think I need to change the name too.
One is etched onto the side, so you can do some work with that. So, or otherwise, are you gonna crash or debate on this?
No. And if Annie's still around, I can give Annie instructions to wake us in case any suspicious characters come by the boat.
Okay. Back at the inn, are you guys being whatever people need to be? Are you heading to bed? I think that Victor and Sylvester have a room together.
Ah.
Oh.
Are there any like random people in the bar?
Yeah. More than the ones I already said.
Yeah, just like
So they're
humans that don't matter.
sure. Yes, 100%. There are many humans that don't matter in here.
Okay. Dariana would like to try to lure one to her bedroom.
Okay. Why don't you roll me?
Yes.
This is not an RP moment we're gonna have on stream. Why don't you just roll me a charisma check, unless you want to RP or flirtations with a slightly drunk human man. I need at least a DC of 2.
Okay. This is just charisma, or is it like persuasion?
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna laugh if you fail this.
I know that would be.
I can't fail it.
Oh, you can't fail it. +8. Yeah. You rolled a
I'm
1
sorry,
though. A 1.
is always a fail.
Are you kidding?
Oh.
In-
well, Dariana-
D&D, finally a good piece of.
Like that
Yes.
video of the little girl that like blinks her eyes and she's like, "That's how you flirt."
Yeah, that's what it was. Or he
Bill, you can't.
slipped
you
a
can't-
terrible fart. Something happened.
You can't. Here's the thing: you can't technically fail an ability check, but a 1 is always a 1.
One's always a 1.
Damn.
You have a red card?
No.
Stunned. She was not stunning. She was stunned.
I have a blue card.
You just rolled a
Wait, what
1
is
on an
that?
ability check.
It's like you go up, bat your eyes, and then vomit on the guy or something.
That's true. I am pretty drunk.
He looks you right
Okay,
in the
so
eyes
here's the
and just
thing.
like, I'm
Your
sorry,
blue card is succeed on a skill check.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I want to do it. I want to succeed. This is for Brian.
Okay.
Go ham.
For
Oh,
So, I mean, you're also going to get a red card. Because it's not re-roll, it's just choose to succeed. So the 1 is a 1. So I'm going to write down your red card here. That was a joke to even just be like, you're going to at least get a 2. You literally just don't have to
I
fail
know,
this.
and I have
then,
a +8.
yeah,
I think everybody was thinking the same thing. As long as it's not a 1, you're gold.
that's it. And here's the thing. Pretty girl walks up to a slightly drunk guy at a bar and is like, hey, I want you in my room. It's not rocket science.
Is it
I'm
possible
sorry.
that the wine made her see somebody and she hit on the guy
No.
and then
Wall.
she reached out and there was
What
nobody
happens?
there?
What happens is she just, gosh, the most clumsy, flirty, whatever. But the guy is literally like, yes.
I'm sorry, I'm only into vampires.
Oh, and she's like, well, give me a day. Yeah. Dang. All right. Let me do some adjustments real quick. Jess, your blue card is gone.
I've got a red card just in time for the boss battle.
Exactly.
I didn't want to be allowed.
I gotta make sure to use those. All right, and then eventually, where are your tokens at? Let's get rid of. No. Gonna get rid of the blue. Add a red. All right. So yes, you do in fact convince a human man at the bar to go with you to your room.
Where Brian is waiting.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to
So-
grab him and push him into Brian.
All right. Yeah. Perfect. So Brian gets a meal. The other two, are you guys heading to your room?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you both head up to your room. It's fine. It's adequate. It's a large room. You go in. Large bed, large enough for 2 people. Otherwise, as a normal room, empty chest, table, against the wall with a mirror, picture. That's about it. Is there anything that you guys would like to do, or are you just going to rest for the evening?
As far as everyone knows, rest for the evening.
Gotcha.
Do not ask, do not tell among Karif.
Like Florida.
Woo!
Wow.
It's been a night, guys.
Whew.
Yeah, it has been an interesting. All right. So, are you doing anything else? Are you actually not like what people know? Are you doing anything else?
No.
Okay. So you guys rest comfortably. Brian gets a nice meal. All that's left behind is a pile of wet bones. As I guess the flesh is like kind of like raisined around the bones, but all the juices are sucked out. Brian is he like fully engorged at this point?
Woo!
No, probably not.
Oh, he needs
Because
Yeah, because you
he
had
was
him in the
pretty-
barrel for.
Yeah, he was pretty small when I.
Yeah. He was about your size
Remember
when
that.
you took him out of the barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll say he's about like
He's like
he's
one more
about
guy.
like yeah, he's like Victor's size, and if he got one more guy, he would go back to his full strength. So what is his HP right now, or what's his max HP?
I think it's like 75 or something.
So we'll say whatever it is, we'll say he's at like 60 HP right now.
No, 95.
Oh, he's got 95, so we'll say he's at like 75 HP right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So 75 HP. If he gets to eat one more person, he'll be at full health.
Tried to lure
and-
some guys, but that probably wouldn't have gone over well. Oh well.
I guess it depends on the roll. But yeah. And you all sleep for the evening. Some of you on a little bit of mushroom wine. Some of you with dreams of kobolds, and thoughts of dinghies, and
Wet bones.
yeah, wet bones. Yeah. And as you are sleeping, Sylvester, you've strange dreams filled with lion-faced women, and just general cacophony that gives you both fright and excitement.
On Hieronymus Bosch. All right.
Yeah. And at one point, feel semi-awake, and you feel something in your hand.
It's not a semi, is it?
It appears to be some type of long, hard rod.
Oh, God damn.
Cool.
And you feel Victor's breath on your neck. No,
Till he planes, trains, and automobiles.
yeah.
They're snuggling.
And just as your rest comes to an end, you still feel this object in your hand. Victor is still curled on the side away from you, sleeping. When you kind of throw back the covers to see what it is, you see this. No.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, I'm going to make it where it's just where you can see it.
But where should I be looking?
So look in your folder. You have like an objects folder.
Stuff around. And Roll20 or D&D Beyond?
In Roll20. In Roll20.
Okay.
Like there should be, mine looks different than yours. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like where you have like any of the magic items that are assigned to you.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
I got it.
And as you kind of hold on to this rod with both hands,
As I
this
always do.
voice kind of penetrates your mind. It's a bit of a command and a bit of a plea and a bit of a bargain and kind of a bit of everything. It's just this, it's all that you feel when you hear it as well. And it's one word. And it just says, chaos.
I'm sorry, didn't catch that.
I think it says chaos. and then whatever this presence was that filled your mind dissipates, and you're left with this object.
Now, is this going to stay there so I can look it over again?
Oh yeah, that should be in your inventory.
Okay. Got it. Cool.
All right. And then as you all begin to awaken, Dariana with Brian, I assume you were cuddled all, with your buddy. Victor, you awaken. Sylvester, you awaken. What is the general plan for today? Have you been to all the places you feel you need to be? What are your thoughts on your plans before the 5th bell?
Well, I would touch base with Annie with Cutter and the other Corin.
Yeah.
Corin Fleshran.
Yeah.
And kind of touch base with them, see how their night went, and everybody else. I don't know. I feel personally like let's get this done because this is our day, right? If we woke up that morning, it's today. It has to be today, right? Based on
it is at the 5th bell is
like
when
8 p.m.,
everything will go down.
So I would kind of through Annie say, let's get together, let's come up with a plan. But they should meet us at the gates as our guards. We can find a place to hide where we can change. And then
Sylvester, do you think we can go back? We can enter from that lady's place, the Temple of Bliss.
Dariana's friend.
Dariana's friend. Temple of Agonizing Blood.
That's definitely how we're going in.
Perhaps they have place for us.
Perhaps.
Do we know at this point that we don't. Only Corin knows that everybody kind of knows that we stole the ship and
Yes, if there's any communication ability back to you.
Yeah, you can talk. I can communicate with Annie. She can talk through me. She can telepathically communicate back to me.
Yes. Do not walk around as flesh sacks in the city. Be ghouls, Daracool as much as possible.
Yes, I think Dariana, we would have to do a ritual, yes?
We do it here though. We're in the Fleshling district.
Yeah.
I know. So we gotta figure this out.
We meet Cutter and Corin at the gate. Immediately find a
dark alley.
Do our thing.
Link toes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Link toes.
Yeah. And what's the spell word, Dariana?
Oh, buddy.
Zekadam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means?
Toes.
You did this to us, Andy.
Yeah, welcome back, Andy. Welcome back to your problems.
I was listening through all the episodes, and every time the toes came up, I was just like,
we still need a toe DK campaign finale shirt or something. Just it's linked toes on the front of it, Just a shot of each character's foot or something. Yeah.
Or it could just be link toes on one foot is D and the other one's K. Like a tattoo.
There you go. A tattoo. There we go. Best selling merch right there. to a subsection of society. And that's so you do that. You get together. The two crew members on the boat find it quite odd that you're speaking with a devil that has been staring at them for a day. And Cutter and Corin, you make your way to the gates of the Fleshin District. When you all meet up, you head out as normal with your Daracool guards, but you're able to tuck into a dark alley not far away, link toes, say the keyword, and reappear disguised as Daracool. And you guys are heading towards the Temple of Agonizing Bliss. Yeah. Okay. You head towards the Temple of Agonizing Bliss, again, walking up these stairs that are painful to do so. When you enter the front doors, you are greeted by one of the followers of Dallingen. It's the vampirist that you have met a couple of times now. The first time at the outpost, the second time when you saw her again here. And she tells you that worship is in session. And it will be after the fourth bell before the Countess can lead you into the tunnel that will open up into the Bone Cathedral, which is where this is taking place. She can lead you to a kind of like side chamber within the temple that will be private for you, where you guys can prepare, eat, drink, whatever you need in order to do this. She's very... she says the Countess is quite invested in your success. Especially you, Dariana. And afterwards, she will be waiting. But if you would like to stay here, there are plush red couches. There's a nice table. Again, refreshments are on it. Whatever you need, blood, liquid, mushroom wine, swole bowls, whatever your heart desires for the next good chunk of the day. It will be brought to you. And then after worship is done for the day, you will be summoned and led to the secret tunnel to infiltrate the Bone Cathedral and hopefully stop the dark ritual. And that's where we'll end our session for the evening.
We're right there. We're right there. Ooh.
Yeah. So, questions, concerns, issues. Everybody good?
Can we ask this woman, now that it's like the 5th time we've met her, what her name is?
He says to you, at this point, my name is unimportant. Either you won't see me again or you will die.
Hey, if I come back, I will look for you.
Okay.
He's prime stock to make a Daracool from. I wouldn't let this one go.
No.
And I am a vampirist, not a Daracool.
Yeah.
So trust me, you can let him go.
Your loss, perhaps my gain.
Hey, listen, what you do in here is your business.
As long as it's painful.
That's the whole point. Agonizing bliss. It's kind of our thing. But yes, we are done. The session is ended. For real though, her name was, because none of you ever asked.
We never asked.
You never ask anybody's names. I'm surprised you got the barkeep's name. Her name was. Did they ever even list it? Yes. No, they don't.
Oh.
She just gives you. She would just have given you a title that you could call her by, and that was it.
Yikes. All right.
So she doesn't have one, and she doesn't want you to know it now.
I'm glad we didn't.
So,
ask.
yeah, that is the end of our session for the evening. Good job. Nice session. Got a lot done. A lot of very interesting things shared. So good time all around. And why don't we go ahead and real quick, again, Sunday, we are much earlier than we usually are. Mondays instead of Wednesday. It is Monday, right? Yeah,
it is Monday.
On Sunday,
Today, yes.
myself and Hunter on the Weekly Scroll will be going over Death in Space, the RPG from Stockholm Cartel and Free League Press. This guy right here. Beautiful book. This isn't even a special edition, which is what's fucking crazy.
Right.
All that foiling. Look at that. Oh, look at it. And next week we will be doing the finale of our 2.5-year campaign of the Dark Kingdoms. If it finishes on Monday, it will be exactly 2.5 years that we've been running this. And it will be 49 sessions on stream and 79 sessions overall, which could extend into one more depending on how things go. Or our 80th session will be when we get everybody together and kind of have a debrief of the entire campaign and everything for the last 2.5 years, where we can just sit and talk and chat and have that. So that is definitely on the horizon. So if anyone has been watching the campaign and has questions, or the players have questions for the DM, or whatever, we're just going to get together and talk and chat and have that out. So that'll be a really good time. Yes, Janelle will be with us. She was a player and is obviously a member of the Adventure Archive here. And I want to see how that goes. So that is what's coming up. Sunday, Weekly Scroll, Death in Space. Monday and possibly Wednesday, the finale of Dark Kingdoms. And on Thursday, Jason will be running the 0 session for our new game starting, which will be Death in Space, for the reason why we're doing it on Weekly Scroll. So some fun stuff coming up, new game starting, game ending, all have something coming up soon. Janelle potentially has some stuff that she's going to run soon, as does Matt and Eric. So some interesting things coming up. Hopefully we'll be on stream a little bit more for all of you guys, and we'll see what happens with all of that. So we are going to do a raid. Why don't we see if Andy, it's been a while. Do you want to pick one? I think there's probably some girls in their underwear or something that we could hop into.
No.
If you'd like to do that, you know.
No. Okay. I can give.
No, I got it. I was joking. I will do it. I don't trust you.
Okay.
So thank you all so much. We're gonna kick to just an end credit screen to thank the supporters here. And then we will see you this weekend. Have a good day, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.